If you run an online service business or an agency, you're going to want to watch this video. My client Max talks about how he scales from 25K a month to over 1.5 million a year in less than 12 months. So let's not waste any time and jump into the video. Welcome back, everyone. I'm joined here by my client Max of WellCopy, an e-commerce email marketing firm. Max is going to be speaking about growing his agency and working with us over the last year with many of his hires. Welcome, Max.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
I know that we've been working for over a year together. We were originally met in Prague when I was visiting some friends. I helped you initially with an email designer when you were growing your agency. I think you were about like 25K a month there or like 30K a month.
Yeah.
And then we ended up working together, becoming friends. And we've worked over this last year. And now you're a lot more than 30K a month, and you've hired a lot more people since then. So you could tell us about the journey from that 30K to that higher revenue mark.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we first started and like met, I was kind of like at that 25, 30K a month mark, and I was pretty much only working with contractors, really didn't have like full-time people. And so that was like a big thing for me. And I'm thinking, you know, how can I hire people full time who are bought in on me? See, the thing is like me, where I come from hiring people off of like social media, because like I have some following and communities on social media. Thing is like everybody there are contractors, freelancers, and you're just like a part of their like client system. And so going to you, I was like, okay, I want somebody like the initial hire at least. It was like, okay, like what if I had somebody who was only dedicated to me? Obviously, I don't want to pay them like US salary. If I can get somebody from like another area who's just as good, if not better, but can be cheaper, and I'm their only person, they're only dedicated to me. They don't want to be a freelancer. They just want to be 100% dedicated. Then I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then, I mean, to this day, like our most talented like designer is like the one that you placed like a year ago. And so just super official, tons of just like experience and with like all sorts of different stuff working with big brands. And so that was great. And so that's really so when I first started with you, it was kind of like transitioning from using just contractors and like part-time people to really going like full time. And so that really is like the shift that happened. And then since then, we've shifted everybody to be full time, not working with contractors. At that point, we probably had like, I mean, in January, February, probably had like 5 to 10 full time, maybe like five full time ish people. And then just like a few contractors. And now we're at like 25, I believe, full time. And then like a few contractors as well. And it's only full time people. And so so that was really the transition. And then I saw like the impact of having people who are just working for you, and they're coming from like the frame of like, this is like your long-term place. And then these are like quality people. Then that really just like transformed our business, and having people dedicated to us, ready to work for us, and they have a ton of experience. And so that just changed everything. And so we worked with you on like some other hires, brought on an account manager, which is pretty hard to find, really hard to find someone with niche Klaviyo experience, which is Klaviyo is the
Yep.
email marketing software. And then that first hire, he just got promoted like internally to our head of our team development lead for account managers, because he's been a rock star. And so we got him, and then we got like somebody else, and then it was like, okay, let's get more of what you guys are giving us, because like they keep being badass, tons of experience, and then they come in and they just have tons of knowledge across other stuff, and they're 100% dedicated to us, and they're cheaper than like US based talent.
Mhm.
And so that is when we just wanted to go to retainers, just like, hey, how can you just give us as many people as possible? And then I think like we agreed on like a retainer for like some time, and then you'd give us like 6 placements, and like within like 2 months we hired just like five of them, because they were all, you just kept bringing good people. And then
Yeah.
now we're like 2 months in, and we're like, okay, we've already gone through like pretty much all of them, let's just like up the plan or whatever. So it really has transformed everything. And now I mean, we've added over 100K from like that mark when we first started, 100K a month. And you know, it's just a different vibe when you hire somebody off
Mhm.
of you. It's somebody who's coming in ready to be bought into your team. They have a lot more experience. They're professional. And it's just off that expectation. And I mean, we wouldn't be near where we are today if it weren't for you and your placements.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Max. One thing I want to highlight is the culture that you've built with your full-time employees. And that's something that's pretty unique. A lot of people build large companies, they have large teams, but not everybody is like not everybody has a culture that a professional sports team would envy, right? And I think with your company and why it's so good to work with you is everybody we place inside of your company is going to a happy home. They're going to a very, very structured and solid environment. So could you tell me a little bit more about the culture fits?
Yeah, for sure. So culture is our biggest thing. When somebody's in a culture that they like being a part of, their work is just 10 times better. People show up to work wanting to work. They show up to work wanting to contribute to the team, and they show up just doing better work, and they enjoy their time here. And so we haven't had anybody ever like leave our company, which is pretty cool. But I think there's a lot of things that play into that. I really just think just having that team environment and just the care that I have with these people and giving everybody a voice of like literally everything, every single decision I'm making inside the company, every single person, I'm reaching out individually and getting their feedback. Like a lot of people, it's just like, we're doing this change. This is why. No, it's like you communicate with your team. Like these are people who have like I'm bringing people with a lot of experience in different companies. I'm building a company, like a big company for like the first time. I want to hear these experiences. So everybody's involved in the decision. So that just creates that collaborative environment where everybody is feels like their voice is heard. They feel like they belong. They feel like they're a part of something cool. They're a part of something that's growing. And then also just being fun, being charismatic, messing around with everybody, not making it like their past corporate jobs where that really just isn't my vibe. I'm more of like the gung ho, go crazy, have a lot of fun. And so I think it's just a major shift from what a lot of people have done. And I think that, that's just something that it's just part of my personality. It's not the company that I want to build is revolved around that. And I think just the people that have been placed, and then we choose them a lot based on the culture, and they've just like really resonated with that. And yeah, I mean everybody from all our conversations that we have, like our team member testimonials, like everybody loves it here. And it goes to show like with the work, like the premier quality of work that we put out is just not like anybody else. That's why our client retention rates are also so incredibly high.
Perfect. That's fantastic. Since that kind of initial meeting where we placed that email designer, you've added well over 100K to that initial 30K that you were working with. And that's awesome. You built an awesome team. What would you say to someone who's thinking about hiring remote talent outside of the US or thinking about working with recruitment firms such as Zabota?
It's a financially bad decision to not. It's just like when you can get like the level of quality and also just like the people from these different areas, whether it be Europe, Asia, South America, like they're they really are bought in and they want to be a part. Like, I don't know, some of these people are US based company. I am. These people want to work for US based companies. So they work their tail off. They really want to impress you. They want to work with US based clients. They want to work with the types of companies that you're working with. And so they're really just bought in and they want to impress. They really want to make you proud. And they want to stay there. They want to stay with US based companies. And so and then also just like they're financially, especially like agencies where it's very human capital, it's labor intensive. Like the place where you can retain margins is with team and talent. And if you can find somebody at for a cheaper price than like the US where people are getting paid like a lot more than they would in other areas, if you can get people who have a different drive than the US based people, they really want to show up and work for you. They really want to crush it for you, and they have all the experience, and they're just less money to us. And but it's like really good for like where they're living. Then it's just a win-win for everybody. And I think it's pretty financially irresponsible to not look there. There should be a balance, I think, of like different areas. But I think that really, if you want to have like the highest quality and have people bought into you, and show up ready to work and ready to be happy, I mean, working with like a recruitment firm like you guys to place these sort of people and find them is really just like the best possible move. And then also like the placement, like if you go with a US based recruitment company, like you're paying like absurd amounts of money to place like these US based people a lot of the times. Like you're paying like ridiculous numbers. And so it's also nice going with like somebody like you where it's like different, where you have these corporate recruitment companies that are so daunting. Like, no, it's just like, the agency game, like working with fast growing companies, and how to make these hires swift, fast, and then finding quality people as well.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for sharing your experience, Max. I know you're a busy guy, so I'll let you get to your next meeting.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, definitely work with Zabota. You'd be stupid not to.